Oh, hello, hello. Did you know that there are actually 5 areas of personal development required to scale your business well beyond 6 figures and into 7 figures? My name is Brie. I'm a wealth coach and I help women to scale their businesses very whole life holistically. And if you give me a minute, I'm going to explain to you these 5 core areas because most people make the major mistake of only focusing on 2 of them and then basically self-sabotage and get into their own way. And I don't want that for you. I want you to make so much money that your neighbors wonder if you're selling drugs. All right. Okay. So the first thing is going to be the literal practical stuff. So this is going to be that you have a great business model, that you know how to sell, that you know how to market, that you have clear business systems, that you can handle the bookkeeping, the taxes, the HR, all of like the literal stuff, right? Now, most people have been trained on this, right? And that's generally not why people are coming to see me, but that's going to be important. If you don't have that in place, you're going to have a really hard time. All right. The next thing is going to be your mindset. Right? Now, anybody who's done any personal development work is like aware of mindset, and it's super important. But I do want to point out that there are other aspects to getting yourself on board, right? Like your emotions, your body, your energetics, and I'm going to talk more about those in a second. So I just want to point out that mindset is critical, like operation critical, but it's not the only thing. And so another thing to point out about mindset is the mindset stuff that you did to get you from wherever you started to like, 6 or mid 6 figures won't be the same mindset stuff that you need to get to 7 and multiple 7 figures. The sort of mindset stuff that I'm working with my clients on is things around like identity and really crafting a wealth identity. And this is going to be really important because as you scale and grow, you essentially, you're not like becoming a different person, but you're going to have to lean on new aspects of yourself, right? And sometimes that can be a little scary, and it also needs to be crafted. It really does. It needs to be thought about with intention to make sure that your identity supports you as this next level version of yourself. All right. Now there's other skills that become really important at these higher levels of wealth. And these are going to be things like mental flexibility, right? Non-dual thinking, ways of moving your mind to be able to see a problem or a solution from multiple different perspectives, right? So it's going to be more or less the ability to move out of your worldview and see multiple perspectives. Now, this becomes really important when it comes to leadership and being able to like come up with creative solutions to problems. All right, so that's the mindset. So we have, the practical stuff, the mindset. Now, the third thing is emotional range. Now, emotional range is basically your ability to handle high levels of sensation in your body. Now, why does this matter to your business? Because building your business and scaling your business, turning up your ad spend, hiring more people, getting that HR, putting employees on, all of that stuff is really intense inside your body. It's really intense sensationally. Now, if you don't have the ability to process your emotions, identify, process, be with your emotions, what ends up happening is you end up mad about things that happened freaking 6 months or 6 years or 60 years ago. And you start bringing that into your business. That complicates things infinitely and will also get in your way a lot. It will get in your way a lot. So when we think about emotional range, we need the ability to identify our emotions. We need the ability to process those feelings. We need the ability to be with the sensation in our bodies. Now, the benefit of this is then the fear of sensation becomes irrelevant. And what I've noticed is most people are in their own way and they're self-sabotaging, and it's really not a mindset issue. It's actually the fear of sensation. Let me give you some examples just to make sure you're with me, because this is it sounds a little weird if this is the first time. So things like if you're afraid of being canceled, right, which is a very common thing. Well, what is that really? There's no actual danger. There's actually very little, when people go through being canceled, they might lose some money, but most of the time it's actually just the fear of being criticized. And being criticized publicly is super high sensation, right? So if you're having that level of fear in your body and you're saying, I'm afraid of being canceled, and that is something that you would not be able to tolerate, you're not going to be able to essentially get enough visibility to be canceled, right? If you're afraid of the high level of sensation of speaking on stage, you're going to not do the pitch, you're going to get in your way, you're going to procrastinate, things like that. All right, so this is why emotional range is so important. And I will tell you, once you have full emotional range, your self-trust skyrocket, and your ability to take action will also go through the roof, because you're not going to be afraid of your own feelings. And you'll be able to, if you'll say, all right, well, if I have to be disappointed, if this doesn't go my way and I have to be disappointed, I'll handle that. And it's an incredibly powerful thing. And so where I notice a lot of people between that 6 and 7 figure range, they really spend a lot of time digging in their psyche, trying to find problems for what's in the way, when actually they literally just don't have the emotional capacity to hold what they want. And I don't want that for you. I want you to be like, if I'm talking to you, I want you to be like, oh my God, she's talking to me. All right, now listen, I have a free Facebook group, which is linked in the description, and I have content in there for business owners, for just money, for money mindset, for general money stuff, and you're welcome to join. And as part of my marketing going forward, there'll be more and more new videos, just so you know. All right, so the next thing is going to be a sense of safety in your body, right? And if you're in the personal development world, you'll hear people talking about nervous system regulation. And really what we're talking about here is the ability to, one, recognize your body's signals. This also is really important when it comes to being able to hear and acknowledge your intuition. The intuition is generally going to be body-based signals, but also to feel safe in your body, because this is another area where if you don't have the ability to feel safe in your body, chances are you're going to procrastinate, you're going to get in your own way, because again, for the way that women are wired, a lot of times that emotional and social part of our brain lights up as actual pain when we're doing things that feel risky. So your ability to feel safe in your body, to learn how to regulate your nervous system, to understand what's going on, and to be able to tenderly care for yourself as you grow and expand, is going to be so much better than trying to force your way through. This is why women, especially women getting into their 40s and 50s, we're experiencing burnout at record rates. Why? It's because we've learned to not listen to the signals of our body, and our bodies essentially give out on us, right? And it doesn't have to be that way. It's really not that hard to learn how to be in there, learn how to regulate, learn how to care for yourself, learn how to give yourself the nourishment, the requirements that you need to feel safe. And this body-based level care is what helps us to get out of survival mode. So this is really, really important. Not just to making the money and building the business, but also being able to actually feel like you're thriving. Thriving is a very body-based state before it's an external state. All right, now the last thing is around wealth energetics, right? And so this is the vibration, the frequency, all of the woo type stuff. Now these are skills, right? It's not just I don't know. I feel like sometimes with the woo stuff, it sounds so magical. A lot of it's based in neuroscience, but anyways, where I'm going with this is when we can read the energy of a situation, and we can tell when our energy's off, or we can tell when something doesn't feel right or smell right. We have superpowers, and they often don't necessarily always make sense in the most logical way. And so when you want exponential growth, you're going to have to learn energetics, right? Otherwise you'll be stuck in linear growth. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But just saying exponential growth is possible. And understanding how to read energy for yourself and for others and for a situation is a thing that really, really helps do that very, very quickly. And so again, I would just like to invite you to my Facebook group. It's free. There's new stuff that comes out all the time. I love you so much, and I hope this helps. And I also hope you make a lot of money.